My mother was my father's sugar baby. Ever since I could remember, I had never received a toy. I remembered when Mom took me shopping. I saw a toy car model I loved and begged for it. She looked at me with disgust and told me to ask my dad. But when I asked Dad, he clicked his tongue and slapped me across the face, saying toy cars were expensive and that I was wasting money. Now, he bought 2 for my little brother without thinking twice. He didn't think they were expensive at all. An aching pain spread through my chest, making it hard to breathe. I followed Dad back to his home. He looked happier than I had ever seen him. The apartment was filled with family photos. In every picture, Dad smiled happily, holding that little boy. He placed the new toy cars where Henry would see them the second he came in, right beside all kinds of other toys. I stared at those toys, everything I had once dreamed of having. Even though none belonged to me, seeing someone else own them made something tremble inside my chest. I looked at the smiling little boy in the photos and whispered, "You're so lucky." Dad busied himself in the kitchen. Soon, the delicious smell of dinner filled the room. He carried the dishes to the table and made a call. "Honey, bring Henry upstairs for dinner. It's all ready." A woman walked in holding a little boy's hand. The second the boy saw Dad, he ran straight over. Dad crouched down, and Henry kissed him on the cheek. "Daddy's cooking smells the best. I'm hungry." Dad picked him up and laughed. "Good boy. What a sweet talker." I looked at the joy in Dad's eyes. I had never seen him look like that, but I was his son too. When I lived with Mom, she beat me whenever she was angry, so I wanted to see Dad more than anything. But every time, he only looked at me with disgust, calling me a liar. A father's love was supposed to make a child feel safe, but even now that I was dead, I had never felt it once. The 3 of them sat at the dinner table, happiness written all over their faces. After dinner, Henry noticed the new toy cars. He tore open the packaging. "Daddy, you bought me the new model cars again. They're so cool gilded." Dad rubbed his head. "No matter what you like, I will find a way to get it for you." Henry's eyes lit up. He looked up at Dad eagerly. "I remember Calvin once gave you a pouch. Can you give that to me too, Daddy?" I stared at him in disbelief. He knew exactly what was inside that pouch. That had been my first time at Dad's house. I had given him that pouch as a gift. I shook my head desperately, hoping Dad wouldn't say yes. That pouch held the blessing Grandma had given me to keep me safe, the only person who had ever loved me, and the last thing she left me before she died. I had given Dad the protection charm because I wanted him to stay safe. I didn't want him to leave me suddenly the way Grandma had, but Dad didn't care. He pulled the pouch out of a dusty cardboard box and handed it to Henry. Henry held it with a grin. "Daddy, did you ever open it?" Dad shook his head. "Why would I? It's not like there's anything useful inside." I floated beside him, staring at his calm face. A faint ache spread through my chest as Henry opened the pouch without a second thought. The folded protection charm slipped out. He picked up a lighter and set it on fire. I rushed forward in a panic, trying to put it out, but it was useless. All I could do was watch the charm get swallowed by the flames. Grandma's smile seemed to disappear with it, and the father I had wished safety for threw the pouch and the burned charm straight into the trash. Still shaken, he scooped Henry into his arms, his voice laced with worry. "You're too young to play with fire. What if you burned your hand? If you don't like this thing, we can just throw it away." I looked at Dad, whose eyes were filled with nothing but Henry. For the first time, hatred rose inside me. I wondered what would happen if Dad found out one day what that charm had meant. If he knew I had once loved him so much, would he regret it? Would he drown in guilt? I stood beside the trash can and watched the charm turn to ash. My blessing turned to ash with it. When I looked up, I saw the smug look in Henry's eyes. He pulled out a notebook, and I drifted closer to read what he was writing. "Calvin, I won again. Daddy will always love me the most."